Guys, picture this. You're a warrior. You're a gladiator in the arena of life, and you need the fuel to dominate every battlefield. That is where Jocko Fuel steps in. First up, Jocko Go. Designed to unlock endless energy and focus, keeping you at peak performance. Then, Jocko Bulk Protein. Build muscle like a champion. It is packed with top-grade protein. Next, Jocko Greens. Nature's weapon for vitality and peak performance. And of course, Jocko Hydrate. Hydration done right with electrolytes for the fight. Don't forget, Jocko Joint Warfare. Say goodbye to stiffness and discomfort. And here's the kicker. All products are Jocko tested, scientifically formulated and clean. No banned substances, just pure power. So warriors, level up with Jocko Fuel and unleash the beast within. It is more than just supplements. It's a way of life. Sean Strickland, Paulo Costa, double days removed. What do you guys think? Because you want to know something? This was very hard for both of those guys. I mean, first and foremost, if you're doing an X's and O's breakdown of that fight, it's very hard for Paulo Costa. Why? Well, because he ran backwards for 25 minutes. And you want to know why that's hard? Because he's never ran backwards for 25 minutes. I'm talking about including in the practice room. He did not have partners that are coming after him and got him going backwards. So now you're trying something new. How well would you guys do? Let's say LeBron's out there playing, he's right-handed, but for one game, he's going to go out there and he's going to play, and he's going to do it left-handed. Oh, by the way, he never practiced. He made this decision right when he walked on the court. You know how awkward that's going to be? And he's good enough, he's skilled enough, he might even have some fun with it. He might even get some buckets in there. It might be something to watch, but you know how awkward that's going to be? And why? Because that's not how he prepared. It's not how he's practiced. It's not something he's done before. So try meeting that criterion in any sport. Oh, and by the way, do it in live competition. Something you had never practiced for. You never even envisioned it. Your coaches haven't envisioned it. They can't figure out what's going on. But there's two sides to that, which is also Sean Strickland's. Not easy to mount an offense in a direction that you've never had to mount an offense before. Sean Strickland did not go into that fight thinking, I'm going to have to go in a straight line. I'm going to have to cut and go in another straight. He did not picture any of that. So both of these guys had to make an adjustment on the go. And I tell you that because Paulo Costa didn't like the one he made. You go out and you have a match. You're looking for your athletes and your favorite athlete, or you make a projection of what's going to happen. Their demeanor after the match is wildly important. And if you guys had access to the demeanor of athletes prior to walking out, and you could still hedge a bet over at DraftKings, that's the piece of information you'd want. You would find their approach just prior far more relevant than a face-off you got at the weigh-in the day before. Just to put it in an example. Put in perspective. So when I hear Paulo Costa after that fight, he said, F it. F conserving energy. F said, I'm never going to do it again. And it was a big deal to me. It was a big deal that he was able to recognize what he did and identify it. And it's so few times that a fighter can do that being critical of themselves. They'll blame the referees, the judges, the coach, and injury. I mean, that's the first one to come out, right, is the injury. Paulo Costa blamed his strategy. And I know what he means about F conserving energy. If that is in your mind, that energy business, and am I going to get tired? Am I going to get fatigued? Like, if that is in your mind, you're going to have a real hard time. Now, everybody's out there getting tired, but if that is on your mind and you're thinking, I got to save energy because I don't have enough of it, I'm going to need this in the next round or later in the fight. If you're out there fighting and thinking that way, and there is a piece of a strategy where that becomes very relevant, but if it ever overwhelms you, you're going to have massive problems dealing with it. It's a really, really big deal. So, Paulo said, there's a wrestler, guys, Jon Smith. The greatest wrestler America's ever had, but he went out in a match, and there was a belief back then, the bank closes at 5, right? You get enough points, you just shut down. Your opponents are watching, they're taking notes, you don't show them anything. Jon was coming up in this way, there was something called cameras, where somebody could come and record a match. Didn't used to be so, but it is so, and he lives in this time, and therefore don't show you the opponents more than you have to. Save your energy. Jon shut down. Guy caught him at the end. Jon came off the mat. He said, I will never shut my offense down again. And he is a world and Olympic champion who would beat guys by 15 points, by 12 points, by 8 points. He would never shut his offense down again. no matter what. And I share that with you because you can make those big changes. And when Paulo Costa came out and said, F conserving energy and strategy, I'm going to just go in and fight, just let it go. Yeah, that's what you have to do. Now, that's everybody's goal. It's harder to get to than it might sound. It's very easy after the fight to make yourself a deal. Called deal making in the world of psychology. Make yourself promises. It's very easy to do. It's hard to keep them. It's hard to remember. It's hard to remember the emotion that you have right then, which is an emotion, so it goes away. It's a problem with emotions, guys. They change. Versus the emotion of being in the locker room about before you're going to walk out there. It's just different. But Paulo, for right now, he's right. I mean, Paulo came in and named himself the Eraser. I haven't heard him called the Eraser in 2 years. Probably better than that. You guys renamed him the Terminator, and that's the one that the announcers went with. You literally renamed him the Terminator. That's the style that he fought. He would stand his ground or go forward. The end. You ever seen us fight with Yoel Romero? He would stand his ground or go forward. Circle and didn't back away. And it was one of those situations where as I was watching, I go, man, he's doing that to conserve energy. But I also know he's never done it before. And you know why that's a problem? You'll dump all your energy. You could go do an easier activity than the ones that you're used to. It's easier, but if you haven't done it before and your muscles aren't ready for it, you're going to get a great fatigue. And I thought it was an interesting fight. And I thought that Sean Strickland was fighting for other reasons. He was angry. And Sean wanted to prove I'm the #1 contender. Many think I beat Dricus. I did beat Izzy, the two guys that are going to be fighting for the title. I should be able to get in there. And I don't disagree with him. And one thing where you never have to get ready is if you stay ready. And I think that Sean should give a good look out to fill in for Whitaker or fill in for Chimaev. I mean, that's how the best opportunities present themselves. And some guys think they've done enough and they don't need to go that route. But there's no shame in those routes. They're great. They're strategic. They involve hard work, discipline, planning. And we'll see what happens with Sean. And guys, one of the reasons I give you the analysis of Paulo backing up and Sean having to go chase him down, it is the worst I've ever seen Paulo Costa look. I care about Paulo Costa's career. I care about him as a person and an athlete. There isn't a different way to say it. Like, who's the better fighter between Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa? I don't know. I saw the fight. But who's the better fighter? I don't know. Because I didn't see Paulo fight him. And if you have a lapse or you took some judgment or you came up with a master plan that when it was over you realized I shouldn't have, it was still the worst I've seen Paulo fight. I don't have a different way to say it. So the fact that it was a split decision and somebody came to the opinion that Paulo won that fight is an interesting concept. And you want to know what else? I don't have judgment on that yet. I would listen. I would very much listen to the concept. What is it you saw? Following the rules, #1 being damage. So where is it that you saw that Paulo did more damage in these rounds that you gave him? #2 being octagon control, which has never clearly been identified, but we all do believe whatever octagon control means, the opposite of that is running backwards. And I'd be interested. I'd be interested in hearing what part of those criteria were won by Paulo.